Ladies and gentlemen, let me start off by saying I am not as emotionally stable as I'd like to be at the moment. The energy has been very weird for me the last week. And I'm not as optimistic as I'd like to be usually when I do videos. But in honor of all the great soldiers out there on the wall, and especially those who've given their lives for us, the people in the center of the last bastion of freedom, whether it means Texas or the United States, you can make that up at home. I'm here walking down the same long shotgun barrel I've been walking down for a long time, trying to bring you guys what I believe to be the truth. And knowing that so far, it usually brings me only trouble, weirdness, and losing the things and some of the people I love. So I'm going to get at it. Keep my fingers crossed. And just, my Uncle Butch was in the Army. He did 2 tours in Vietnam. He survived, although he passed away later. My dad, my stepdad were both in the Air Force. They both passed on, though not combat related. So, but my Uncle Butch told me that as a kid, I was forbidden to join the military, and he was my godfather. So I've always felt the connection with the soldier, and they are a big reason why I still do it today. That I respect the soldiers and the peace officers and the people out there trying to defend the free world. I know everybody hates it when I talk about politicians, and I try and tell everybody that the world is run by a war machine and the oil industry, but all you have to do is look at all the politicians' record on the VA affairs, man. Like, we should be taking amazing care of our soldiers. They should be getting the finest care at all times if you're going to serve and give your life and dedicate doing what you can to protect us. Anyway, okay. Here we go, breaking it down. So when my mind clears, sometimes I can do the basic math, and I did a bunch of math. And I'm not guaranteeing that we're going to definitely get a hurricane hitting on September 12th, September 23rd, and October 9th. And these all probably go 5 days either way. These are guesstimates. But I'm pretty sure we are going to see Category 4 and 5 hurricanes around those dates. Definitely are going to come close to the United States, if not hit it. And though in my 2 to 4, possibly 5 hurricane scenario that I'm seeing for 2019, the early season, my brain has been showing me for months. The first one goes into like South Texas and then or Mexico, and the trends we've been watching have been doing that too. And then it's like, in my guesstimates, and we'll get into that later. Because the locations are nowhere near as tight as I believe. Definitely, we're pretty sure. And remember, I've done a fantastic job at hurricane season. Like, the fact that the media hasn't ever noticed that I've done such an amazing job consistently is pretty telling of how bad things are. So we'll get into these dates later, and I'll do a whole hurricane video, but I'm definitely sure about this one, and I'm definitely sure about at least one in September. But when I check back the last 3 years and put the dates together, I'm pretty sure we're going to get some around these areas. We just got lucky last year and didn't get one in this, but the year before we did. I mean, there was a hurricane, but it missed. Anyway, hey, maybe we'll be lucky, and all 3 of these hurricanes will not hit, or no hurricanes will show up all summer. And then maybe I can quit doing weather and hurricanes and go back to doing stuff that allows me to make a little bit of money, kiss a lady, and, have normal people talk to me like I was a normal human being. Okay. Things are bad, man. Things are really bad. And I want to remind everybody who gets into politics that you got like 500 days before the next election. You technically have 2 hurricane seasons. So by my estimate, we're going to get hit by anywhere from 6 to 12 hurricanes before the next election. It's one of the reasons I've been advocating we build new cities in safe places, not just the United States of America, but the world. And that would boost your economy because you're building cities from scratch. They like to re-blow the bubble, whether it be the housing bubble or the .com bubble or the like quantitative easing bubble, like in a compounding interest economy, which is what we're in. They have to keep letting more money out, which is inflation before they screwed with the definition. They have to keep making more money to keep up with the interest payments. And so they have to keep reinflating the bubble until it pops. And for real, it's called hyperinflation. So they're going to have to reinflate it again. Even President Donald Trump mentioned, hey, quantitative easing now would be great, even though market's at the highest rates ever. But they have to reinflate it. And so I'm saying, if you're going to spend another $10 trillion, why not build 3 brand new cities of the future? And the people who build those cities would get to live there. And I'm pretty sure that would build a great sense of community. Like if you showed up in a barren land with a bunch of people and a good plan on how to build a great city, and then you built it together over a 1 to 2 year period, I'm pretty sure the people who then lived in that city would take great pride in it. And great pride as a community because they all built something together. And for the people who want to get away from the constant negativity 24/7, this would be a place like, hey, come to our super new city where we all just want to get along. We all want to love each other. We all want to be good to our families and treat our area well and exist without the divide and the conquer, the negativity, the hate, the blame. Yeah, I don't know. It's a great idea, man. It was kind of like in 2008 when they were going to spend $14 trillion on something. I said, hey, guys, why don't you give every human being $50,000, run it through their credit first. So if they owe it on a house or a car or student loans, then the $50,000 credit would then pay off whatever debt they had on the books. And then so people would get their debts paid off and the banks would get that money, but it would go through the human and then to the banks. And they were like, nah, that's a dumb idea. Let's just give it straight to the banks. The people don't need to get any positive benefit from this. Actually, this will weaken their power greatly, their purchasing power, while putting all the money in the stock markets where the people, wait, we're talking about weather, right? What? Yeah, things are bad. And so this is why I'm not emotionally all there together where I like to, whatever. So we've had levees. I mean, I've been monitoring the dams for a long time and we haven't had any dams break till like this year, except for Louisiana and Katrina. And I might be wrong about 1 or 2, but I'm saying I ain't seen no dams be breaking, and now dams be breaking all the freaking time. Like the Midwest is bad, dude. It is so bad. And those are our farmers. And so behind taking care of our soldiers, next should come our farmers. And then probably, our teachers and our police officers and our first responders. But we don't take care of these people. Like, I am a very good man. I'm not perfect, but I'm a very good man. And I get very little rewards from this world. Not romantically, not family, not money, not nothing. And so we have a system that is set up to reward the worst of the fucking people. The people are going to throw 1 million people in the volcano because it'll make them a lot of money or buy them a lot of land or whatever the hell, man. Like, okay, I'm just saying, yeah, I've been freaking out for a week. And because we've stayed over 400 rivers flooding pretty much for over a week. And we've been over 300 rivers flooding almost all month. I think we dropped to 289 for like a minute and a half. Okay? So as the guy and I've been warning about this situation for a couple of years, and all year I've been talking about when we get to here, floody season, before hurricane season, and I've been extremely accurate. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, but just the fact that I've done such an amazing job. I've produced verifiable science again and again and again, showing the planet, the gas giants on the same side, showing the Eris alignments somehow are linked to the sunspot on the sun and to, I can call major storms just basically off that alignment. And like, I literally came out of the woodwork in 2017 to be like, oh God, we're going to get hit by 2 hurricanes. I'd had my channel for 4 years before that. I'd never done that before. And since I did that and I did it again, and now we're doing it again, I've been right every time. And so it's just odd to me that young girl, and I don't disrespect her in any way, the Greta Thorburton, who like gets all the press, is like the climate change girl. And all she's saying is, we need to change our ways or we're going to die. Which I don't disrespect. And she's too young to understand the ins and outs of the actual science or the economy that backs up that petroleum war science. Right? And so I've done all this amazing shit. Like, I don't even know. And like, never once, not locally, not statewide, not nationally, has anybody said, you know what? Thor News did a really good job. You guys should pay attention. Same thing with Dutch, man. Dutch has been super solid on earthquakes. Instead, you get the opposite. We're kooks. Have no idea what we're talking about. They're like, carbon is the only thing affecting anything in the whole world, and carbon is the only thing you ever need to worry about. It's like our oceans are filling up with trash. We're getting hit by hurricanes all the time. Earthquakes, like, carbon tax is not a comprehensive strategy by any means. And thinking you have the problem solved when the universe, the solar system, the galaxy, the sun, our planet are such complex systems. It's just asinine. It's the opposite of what science should be. And the 95% were saying, no, it's exactly this. They're backing up data that is hidden behind a motherfucking paywall unless they need to do the Huffington Post graphs. Anywho, I'm just saying, like, that hurricane I called out like a year from now, and if my hurricane charts are right, whether I'm alive or not, those hurricane numbers come back, and I was right on even 2 or 3 of them. Hell, even 1. That was a fucking fantastic job. Am I right? Like I said, these are guesses based off planetary. I mean, the locations are not that solid. The dates, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get at least 2 or 3 of these. And I'm saying, even if I get 1, that's a pretty amazing job. All the 3 places that put out hurricane warning systems, the NOAA and Colorado and Weather Channel, they don't predict landfalling, man. I've done that 2 years in a row. Done a great job. Anywho, and I'm just saying, as Planetary Defense Commander, I have to work with and respect our president, no matter who it is, whether it was Barack Obama or Donald Trump. We are on this together. And that he is going to be in power for 2 more years. So I have to respect both parties. But at this point, that we've been over 400 rivers flooding for about a week, man. We've got dams break, like 82, like this is a new record for tornadoes that I can remember. Maybe we beat it once, I can't remember. I just remember one time there was a river flooding level that was so high. I was like, what the hell? I don't ever remember being this high, and definitely not 82 major flood stage gauges. And these are all interconnected webs. And so you are having, rescues daily. You're having infrastructure destroyed, highways wiped out. And that, like, China just canceled 4,000 metric tons of beef order. Like, and that the Wall Street and stuff, and it's part of the reason I talk about it. The media is trying to distract you from the important shit that, like, you could be shorting, or I don't know the exact investing strategy if you thought food prices were going to be going up. It's kind of like before 9/11. Turned out a lot of people shorted the airlines that were politicians, dude. Like, and then they made that illegal. They had to pass a fucking law. And people are like, you shouldn't cuss. And I'm like, dude, I'm talking about how we had guys short the airlines right before 9/11, and then they had to pass a law like, okay, politicians are no longer allowed to take insider secret information and invest off that. And that's where we're at. And so to have 85% of the America going, our politicians will solve it, it's driving me crazy. And I ain't getting no kisses in between. And I become like a shut-in because every time I leave my apartment, weird shit happens. Like, if I wrote a book about my actual life, which I would never do, because I've taken too much information from people that... Anyway, what's this talking about? Okay. Yeah, dude, my life is, like, weirder than the movies. I'm surprised I'm still on. What's it talking about? So, yeah, like, I'm freaking... Like, I've literally, for a week, since we kind of hit and stayed at the 400 river levels, and I've watched the attitudes of, like, they're still talking about collusion. They're still talking about, like, impeachment, like... So, like, nothing, dude. Like, other than a tax cut for all the major corporations and deregulating a bunch of shit, our government really hasn't done nothing. Distract us with wall talk. And since early 2017, since before we got hit by any hurricanes, I've been saying the wall is the dumbest fucking idea I ever heard, because there's a good chance we could have the middle of fucking America fall in. And in a Brexit video that I just did, it talks about how the Aztecs used to sacrifice 20,000 people in their holidays to the whatever evil dipshit god. And so I'm pretty sure we have all the mythologies here. We have all the timelines here. We have all the, like, demons, the angels, the good guys, the bad guys. Like, everybody showed up for this for this moment in the grand transition. So there's a little element of everything. And that's another reason I'm sick of doing this shit daily, is because, like, I always got people telling me, well, here's what the bad guys are going to do. And I don't want to know the bad guys' fucking plan, man. Like, what are you, a bad guy plan salesman? Get out of my door. Like, I don't need no, I'm doing the hard data and I'm saying we can adapt to this shit together. And if we don't, all the fucking plans are going to fail. I don't care who it is, what type of strategies people have. I'm pretty sure they're going to fail if they turn out to be like, you know, the old school Aztec shit. Because the Aztecs just fucking vanished. And then, or like the Spanish Inquisition shit. Like, any type of weird ass schadenfreude. That grand plan ain't going to work, dude. The abundance is going to steamroll us. Okay, so on that note, part of the reason I'm so crazy is because, like, multiple times a day, although with this one, you only need to check, like, once because it only comes out once a day. So I'm looking at dam levels, right? And another thing, like, if I do decide to run for president, it was only because I thought I had to. And the last time I talked about this seriously, that's when I lost my computer. But I'm saying that, and so many people asking for politicians to run for money or asking for money. What are you going to do? I'm going to run for politicians. I'm going to run for office. And what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to say the same shit that pretty much every single Democrat said before me. What are you going to do? I'm going to say the same shit that every Republican before me said. Right? What are you going to give in return? Fucking nothing. All the people who lose in an election, they took a lot of money in and they gave nothing in return. And they lost. And so I get shit since they shut down my PayPal don't really work, my Patron don't really work. So me asking for just the fucking basics from the people who listen to the lives I'm trying to save, putting my life in the line for. Like, people are like, you beggar. I'm like, why don't you ever call politicians beggar? Dude, I'm putting out amazing information. Anyway, I'm just saying it would be smoother for me if I run, because then I get to ask for money. People can't talk shit at all. And then I can call in state and federal, hopefully, assistance on all the hacker shit I deal with, because I deal with it all the time. But then I increased my already high chances of somehow ending up in a Isaac Cappy incident. Well, I dead. And like I said, though, I don't know if I died. It looks like everything's going downhill. So I don't know if I want to stick around for the slow collapse. I think I've negotiated, hopefully, painless death. But I don't know, dude. The bad guys might be really mean and sadistic. Okay. So yeah, this is why I didn't want to talk. What am I at? Like a zillion minutes? And if I haven't said anything about the weather? But like I was talking about earlier, what more? Like 3 things. Other than, yeah, we got record floods, like a lot of these, we're talking the Arkansas River, the Mississippi River, record levels. It's something that keeps coming down. You got snowpack that's still melting. You got a bunch of snowpack here that's still melting. They keep saying, like, okay, there are going to be no more storms for California, and then storms keep rolling in. So I'm now at the madness point. And when I used to talk about cuddling and getting a hug, I don't talk about that shit no more, because I get triangulated by the most beautiful women in the world, but they're like fucking holograms. Things are strange. So yeah, this relationship, and I'm trying to talk to you, and I'm trying to get all my crazy out before the hurricanes start hitting. But my worst case scenario, talking about how if we get to 500 rivers flooding, which we're only 80 fucking rivers from, bro. And then a hurricane hits, like if a hurricane, because one of my theories is, okay, I think I have a feeling that a hurricane might hit some down here. And I think when Mother Nature was like, okay, I got a couple hurricanes to give out. Who wants them? Raise your hand. Then Alabama was like, we want one. Because we're going to help distract the world. We'd like one. And so I think one's going to come up through here in Alabama and then come on, curve on out. I think I have a theory that a hurricane may go to the wettest place. Worst case scenario, goes to the wettest place, which would be here, and then goes up and then curves out. That's like worst case scenario. And I think either Florida's going to get hit with 2, or like this area is going to get hit with 2. And then there's always this, because what I'm worried about is the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico area, Antilles. Looks like they're going to kind of knuckleball some hurricanes out, which is bad for this side, the west side of Florida, and then when it crosses, and then come back over and double punch. So my guess for now is Florida's going to get hit twice, South Texas is going to hit once, and there's going to be one over here. Though my location guess is none of that shit's solid. You know, I'm literally just taking wild guesses. Oh, and my volcano and earthquake ring of fire watch that'll gonna last 6 years, definitely over the next 2 years. Starting on the 22nd of May, we had a major Popocatépetl volcano eruption that day, and that you've had a lot of wildfire troubles up in BC and in Canada. And then someone was pointing out to me, Minneapolis Twin Cities girl, that there may actually be some type of heat activity coming out of near Clear Lake that shows some type of steam activity. And remember, volcanic activity doesn't have to be boom and lava. It can be steam, it can be gas, it can be... Anywho, but like I said, it's pretty clear between having a major reservoir, and then we go back here, and that if these things broke, look at that. That's all like I said, it's like a bathtub. So if you really wanted to get in serious trouble, you would find out who owns all the real estate all around this area. And it's just a coincidence that PG&E, and I've been upset, and people get upset when I get upset, but like that during the fire, because I cover this shit, and they had the huge wildfire in Chico, and our president was like, it's because you're bad force management, and people were literally melting. Like 90 people died. And then it turned out PG&E, a corporation who just filed bankruptcy with like $50 billion in debt, caused the fire. I don't necessarily believe that, but I'm saying, I just don't, while trying to unite people to deal with these changes, and there are 18 million Republicans in this state. You may think of it as some liberal bastion, but you have to remember that states are very diverse. And there are a lot of conservatives in California, and there are a lot of the digital conservatives, the digital people who are conservatives but don't act that way. There's a lot of shit going down, man. Boy, I've dropped a lot of truth in this thing. That's the good thing about because I felt hopeless about romance lately, and I'm like, fuck, man, if I'm never gonna kiss a woman again, I don't know. Just, and the world keeps like taking away cool things to live for, it seems like. Yeah, but I'm a fighter, so I love fighting. Not fight, but I'm saying, knowledge, truth. All right, so yeah, I'm freaking out. But like I said, I've been staring at these almost, we're like literally daily, hourly, this like multiple times a day. And we're at the record level now that we've seen this year. Both major flooding and locations. And then we're at 98%. So here, you have a 2% room for problems. That's not a lot. And so if these things break, that's a lot. I did multiple videos on it before. I'll have to go back and edit them. They show what would happen if the major dams broke. But I care about the future. I care about everybody. I'm here saying we're all in this together, and that if we don't get our shit in gear, it's going to get very bad. And so if we have a situation where these dams break and then we get hit by a hurricane and there's major, like, that is the time. It was like right after 9/11. I wasn't expecting it. You weren't expecting it. It happened. And then we were caught on our heels, and they pulled a bunch of shit. They passed a bunch of laws before we knew what was happening. And so we've been in a crisis economy. Doesn't matter who the fuck is president or who is what politician. And so I see it as like, it's not the people that are evil, it's the system. And it's a giant Hydra. There's no master plan. Some people may have plans for when shit hits the fan, but I guarantee you they're not going to be suffice. All right, so the weed eater next to the window. This is the time for me to wrap this one up. I'll probably try and do one where we take a look at all the situations. I'm at 25 minutes. See, I'll try and tone it down. I talk about weather and weathery ways, but these are the things, and it's like, with no disrespect, if you're here this long, for hurricane season, I'm going to be pretty, like, set in my ways. I have been doing this for 6.5 years. And I have been literally doing as good a job as anybody out there on hurricanes since Hurricane Matthew. And so, during this time when a lot more people come around, that I always get people trying to tell me, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. I'm like, look, buddy, I've been doing this solid for a long time. Right. Give my theories, give my evidence. It happens, and that's it. So I don't mind hearing other people's ideas, but when people tell me, like, this is exactly what's happening, man, I ain't got to believe you. Show me, put it, and not only that, I do my best usually to make it entertaining and funny, and when you leave, no matter how doomy it is, you still have a weird, good feeling and that things are going to work out. And so if there's one thing that sets me unique, is out of all the people in the truth community, I do that every time I can. And so, all this shit to deal with, I can only handle so much negativity. And so if your theory is like a bunch of rich dudes are going to kill us all and there's no hope, I don't even know why I at Asteroid Fight Club, to be honest. Because we're not here to lose, dude. We are not going to lose. And even if I die saying that, that's how I want to feel. That's how I want to go out. Okay. Anyway, so like I said, I'm trying to look at the weather, but I'm partially going crazy. But I'm trying to get all my crazy out before hurricane season. And I felt obligated, a duty to the soldiers who I love and respect. I definitely would like to have sex again before I die. Like 100 more times at least. All right. So, I got like 4 videos that I've been editing. They're almost done. GeoJerks is funny. But this one's good. I think last time, I don't know if it was Harry or William or the Queen, somebody got upset in the royalty. And technically, I'm a fan of the UK saying, hey, we need to do something. These debt levels aren't sustainable. Hey, Werner von Braun. Okay, this is a good video. Anyway, so I got to finish this Brexit video that's awesome that I made without offending the royalty. I know people can be like, hey, that's totally evil. It's like, dude, I'm trying to work out a peace negotiation between everybody. And I know people are like, that won't work. Well, we get closer to it every day. People are finding out they ain't God a little more every day. People are finding out they got to work together a little more every day. That the universe and the solar system is giving us a whole lot of everything. And if we don't learn how to get better at sharing and working together, we're not going to make it. Like the Aztecs. It's going to vanish. Although we surpass, as far as I know, we surpass the technology levels of all the civilizations we found that we understand. And in many ways, that's good and bad. And I'm only saying the harnessing of the electricity. I know that the Nero age, they could use running water to power everything. So it was, I don't know, mankind harnessing electricity was above and beyond everything. It's like so epic. You could write so many books and movies about just the mythological aspect of that, if you're into that shit. Okay, well, I love y'all, and I want to thank all the soldiers out there who gave their lives. And it's our responsibility to create a better world out of all the chances we've been given. And I'd like to thank all the soldiers out there who are on the wall. And if you watch Game of Thrones, it seemed like all the people who really concentrate on defense and trying to save everybody else, they all survived. Not all of them, but I'm just saying, I think there's definitely extra protection and extra God's love for those of us who look out for our fellow brothers and sisters and the animals and the planet itself. So when the karma swing comes around, it's going to be hopefully good times again. I really want to have a good summer. Okay, I've talked for too long. See, I'm attracting this. Can you hear that? It's the sound of grass getting cut down to acceptable levels. I need a vacation. I love you guys. Stay cool. Talk to you soon. God bless everyone.